King crabs are tasty monsters in Norway. Out in the fishing fields to pull in the pots. Suddenly, the deck is covered with huge, ugly crabs. Have your photo taken with a king crab and then get ready for a king crab feast. Fantastic! The king crab is a new arrival in Norway. It actually stems from the northern reaches of the Pacific Ocean, and it was previously known in Norway as the Kamchatka crab, after the peninsula on the east coast of Siberia. In the 1960s, Soviet biologists started to release these crabs into the Murmansk fjord. The crab thrived here, and as early as in 1977 the first king crab was caught in Norwegian waters, just west of the border. Since then, the crab population has expanded westwards, and crabs are now to be found off the coast of West Finnmark and Troms. However, the crab colonies are densest from the North Cape and eastwards.
And the eggs are grown up, big female can carry up to 500,000 eggs.
The fishing village of Burgoynes in South Varanger has specialized in catching king crabs. The main season is from October to January, when the crab shells contain the most meat. The catch is regulated through an agreement with Russia, although a fair amount of king crab is included as a secondary catch in East Finnmark. Few topics are as hotly discussed among the fishermen along the coast as the king crab.
Beware of the big claw. You see this big male. This big male, he can cut off fingers.
Some think that it is upsetting the ecological balance in the sea as it eats everything in its path. Others believe that it is a valuable supplement to the Norwegian fishing industry. However, the communities west of the North Cape are not keen on the crab establishing colonies there, so there are no restrictions on king crab fishing.
I see if I find some.
Norwegian red king crab with its luscious and flavorful white crab meat provides an exclusive and tasty seafood experience. It grows slowly in the cold Arctic waters, and is sustainably harvested with respect and care by local fishermen and women on small coastal vessels. Red king crab is especially rich in protein, vitamin A, riboflavin and B12, selenium, antioxidants and minerals such as iron, selenium and iodine.
And in this year, it's growing this like the crab itself do not grow. So you see, it's not easy to say this.
Catch range. Fishing for red king crab is quota regulated along the east coast of Finnmark, towards Nordkapp. West of Nordkapp there are no quotas to prevent the crab spreading further down the coastline into important baiting areas for other species. Season. Norwegian red king crab is in season all year round, except April, which is a conservation period due to the red king crab's shell change.
They can be 15 years old. And no, 28 to 30 years old, but they can be 15 kilos.
The Norwegian red king crab is solely harvested with pots close to shore. The fleet consists of small coastal vessels, with a short distance to travel from the catch area to the landing facility. The fishermen and women build on experience and knowledge of the red king crab and its habitat, and select only the crabs with the highest quality. This makes the Norwegian red king crab unlike anything else, and a truly luxurious taste of the sea. The crab is large, with succulent and tasty flesh, that can be enjoyed in both hot and cold dishes. The meat in the red king crab's legs, claws and tail has an exquisite sweet and savory taste, and is perfect for stir-frying, baking and grilling, served with garlic butter or flavored with herbs and spices. Many, though, prefer to eat the crab au naturel, boiled or steamed, with a light salad and a lemon wedge. King crab price around the world. How does it compare? King crab is a delicacy that is highly sought after by seafood enthusiasts around the world. Known for its succulent, sweet meat and impressive size, king crab is a luxury ingredient that can grace the tables of high-end restaurants and special occasions. However, the price of king crab can vary greatly depending on where you are in the world. In this blog post, we will take a closer look at king crab prices around the world and how they compare.
Så da snakker vi 40-50 000 egg hver krabbe hvert
Alaska is known for its abundant king crab population, and it is one of the main sources of king crab in the world. The price of king crab in Alaska can vary depending on the size, quality, and availability of the catch. On average, you can expect to pay around $25 to $45 per pound for king crab in Alaska, making it one of the more affordable options compared to other countries. Norway is another major producer of king crab, and its king crab is known for its superior quality. Norwegian king crab is often larger and meatier compared to other varieties, which makes it highly prized by seafood connoisseurs. However, this premium quality comes at a higher price. The average price of king crab in Norway can range from $40 to $70 per pound, making it one of the more expensive options on the market. Russia is also a significant player in the king crab market, and it is known for its large and flavorful king crab. The price of king crab in Russia can vary depending on the size and quality of the catch, as well as the location of the purchase. On average, you can expect to pay around $30 to $50 per pound for king crab in Russia, making it a mid-range option in terms of price. Japan is renowned for its high-quality seafood, and king crab is no exception. Japanese king crab is often considered a delicacy due to its sweet and tender meat. However, this premium quality comes with a hefty price tag. The average price of king crab in Japan can range from $70 to $100 per pound, making it one of the most expensive options in the world. King crab is considered a luxury ingredient due to its delicious taste and impressive size. While it may be expensive, many seafood lovers find it worth the splurge for special occasions or to indulge in a gourmet dining experience. King crab is available for purchase online from various seafood markets and specialty stores. However, be sure to choose a reputable seller to ensure the quality and freshness of the product. Some king crab fisheries are certified as sustainable by organizations such as the Marine Stewardship Council, MSC. Look for MSC-certified king crab to support sustainable fishing practices. King crab prices can vary significantly depending on the country of origin, size, quality, and availability. Alaska offers relatively affordable options, while Norway, Russia, and Japan are known for their premium quality but higher prices. When purchasing king crab, it's essential to consider factors such as freshness, sustainability, and personal budget to make an informed decision. Whether you're indulging in a special occasion or treating yourself to a gourmet meal, king crab remains a coveted delicacy for seafood lovers around the world. Get close to mighty creatures that roam the seabed off northern Norway on a guided king crab safari. These exclusive crabs fresh from the sea are seriously tasty. King crab fishing in Norway. In Norway, you can catch king crabs on a safari all year round with a fishing license for visitors. King crabs are a hot topic among fishermen in Norway. Some are concerned about how the crabs, as an invasive species, contribute to the ecological balance of the sea, while others see them as a valuable part of the industry. Hold on tight as your RIV boat speeds off from shore and out into the Barents Sea. Outfitted in a warm boiler suit, goggles, and mittens, you'll be comfortable, no matter the weather in the north. When your boat slows down, the excitement rises to a new level. Has the mighty king crab taken the bait? People in a rib boat outside of Kirkenes in northern Norway on a king crab safari. We are just off the coast of Kirkenes in southern Varanger in northern Norway. This is one of the main ports for harvesting king crab in the Barents Sea. From here, luxurious crabs are exported to top restaurants all around the world, including some delicious Norwegian seafood restaurants, of course. Enjoying perfectly prepared king crab in a luxurious restaurant is divine, but it must be said that it also tastes heavenly served fresh from the sea. Especially when you have had a hand in the catch. A woman holding a king crab on a king crab safari outside of Kirkenes, northern Norway. We got some fatty fish like mackerel and herring, a perfect crab bait. You don't realize just how huge a king crab is before you have one right in front of you. Now, we have to check if it's male or female. On safaris, we aren't allowed to keep the females, in order to prevent overfishing. There's also a minimum size. Anything smaller than 13 centimeters we kiss goodbye. Finding crabs big enough to keep is certainly not a problem. Look at this monster. The king crab is a relatively new arrival in Norway, and it wasn't before 1977 that the first king crab was caught here. Back then, it was known in Norway as the Kamchatka crab, named after the peninsula on the east coast of Siberia.
Very good. This is a champ.
The king crab that now lives outside of Norway originated from the Murmansk fjord, where they were released by Soviet biologists in the 1960s. Since then, the population has expanded to northern Norway, where they thrive in the cold water. There are more than 100 species of king crab. The red one is the second biggest species and is also one of the most common to eat, says Michael, king crab safari guide at Snow Hotel Kirkenes. King crab meat is sweet and aromatic, and is often compared to lobster. According to Michael, the tastiest bit is the shoulder. Do you want to have a taste? Most king crab safaris in Norway include plenty of tasting. In other words, you actually get a lot for your money, as king crabs are among the most expensive items on restaurant menus.
Let them grow out again. It uses the claw as knife and fork. Just the big one to crush and the small one to eat.
A plate with king crab, lemon and mayonnaise. We steam the crab in salted water. It will be ready in exactly 16 minutes and 23 seconds. It doesn't get any fresher than this. Straight from the sea, prepared at the wharf, and enjoyed in a traditional rawbu, or fisherman's cabin. If this is the first time you try king crab, the guides will gladly show you how to open the legs. Voila! Enjoy the catch of the day on bread with mayonnaise and a few drops of lemon. King crab safaris are available all year round in Norway, including in winter, when it's a really cool experience. Many tours include a snowmobile ride out onto the frozen fjord, where king crab traps are set under the ice. You can also find year-round king crab boat safaris and safaris under the northern lights. Most king crab tours includes plenty of information about the mighty crab, and you often learn a lot about the history of the local area. King crab season is about to start ramping up, which is obviously exciting for many reasons for all of us true king crab lovers out here. The king crab season can span anywhere in the cold winter months, starting in October and ending roughly in January every single year. Nearly all of the king crab on the planet come from very specific regions. Bristol Bay in Alaska, the Bering Sea located in between Alaska and Russia, and from a growing, invasive population in the Barents Sea and Norwegian Sea, placed by the Russians in 1965 to promote a Western fishery. Yes, it's true, last year's red king crab fishing season in Alaska was cancelled due to a drastic drop in stock levels, but that still doesn't stop the demand for this beautiful, prized and delicious sea creature. And also, don't forget there are also other species of king crab, so there are other options and means of getting the desired king crab one way or another. Here are how the fishing seasons break down. Golden king crab can usually be caught throughout the year from the middle of February to the middle of June, while red Alaskan king crab season opens for only short windows in the fall from November through January. In the Arctic Yukon-Kuskokwim area, the red Alaskan king crab season runs from July to the first part of September, then again around the middle of November through the end of May. In the Bristol Bay, Bering Sea, and Aleutian Islands areas, the king crabbing season runs as follows. For red king crab, around the middle of October through the middle of January. For golden king crab, from around the first part of August through around the end of May. How has the king crab season been affected in the past couple of years? Here are some numbers to wrap your head around. The total allowable catch, TAC, in 2019-2020 was slashed by 12% from the previous year to just £3.8 million, and last winter, fishermen were allotted just £2.648 million. Fishermen actually failed to catch the very scaled-down TAC in 2019-2020, which prompted the closure of the season in 2020-2021. The TAC had already declined precipitously in the previous decade, going from £20 million in the 2008-2009 season to £6.6 million in 2017-2018. Of course, with a decline in inventory comes a dramatic rise in price to meet this everlasting demand. Here are some pricing statistics over the recent years. Pandemic demand for red king crab combined with low supply had driven prices to record levels. According to ADFG, the statewide ex-vessel price for red kings was $11.89, €10.04 last season, breaking the previous all-time high set the winter before at $11.77, €9.93. Ex-vessel prices in 2008-2009 were closer to $5, €4.22. At this time, the Alaska Board of Fisheries has voted down a proposal that would have allowed for a limited harvest of red king crab in southeast Alaska. Over the last decade, there's been just one red king crab fishery in the southeast. That's because the state's estimations of crab stocks have repeatedly fallen short of the 200,000 pounds threshold. The outcome of the 2022-2023 king crab fishing season will officially be closed in the Bering Sea for the second year in a row. With this being said, that will forecast a limited catch for us here at King Crab Legs Company, as we exercise other resources for obtaining king crab through the other regions in which they live. There's nothing quite like a delectable crab leg feast, but knowing which one will hit the spot for you requires a bit of crab knowledge. Crab comes in a variety of sizes, shapes, textures, and flavors. The two most common varieties are snow crab and king crab, yet they have many noteworthy differences. So what are the differences between snow crab and king crab legs? Do they have different flavors? If both crab species are so popular, which one should you select for your next restaurant or home meal? At Skull Creek Boathouse we have all the answers to all your snow crab and king crab questions, from choosing your crab legs to cooking and cracking. Crab meat is an easy favorite, even among those who aren't huge seafood eaters. It's generally sweet and the white meat with shades of deep crimson looks appetizing in almost any dish. Let's claw our way through each difference between king crab and snow crab to help you make the best choice for your next crab order. When you look at these two crabs, size will be the core element that helps you to distinguish between them. As stated in its name, king crab is obviously a big creature, and it is clearly bigger than the snow crab. So far, the largest king crab that fishermen have ever found reached 20 pounds and was 5 feet long. However, generally a king crab weighs about 6 pounds while a snow crab weighs from 2 to 4 pounds. Since a king crab is bigger in total size, the legs are bigger and thicker than those of the snow crab, whose legs are longer but slimmer. Here's another tip that helps you distinguish between the two types of crab. The number of legs a crab has can tell you which kind of crab it is. Specifically, king crab has 3 pairs of legs and 2 big claws, while a snow crab has 4 pairs of legs and 2 claws. King crab versus snow crab, where and when to find them. Let's get to know where each kind of crab comes from. The snow crab prefers deep, cold water conditions, so they live in the northern parts of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. To be specific, they usually reside around Maine, Alaska, Canada, Norway, Russia, and even Greenland. Meanwhile, the king crab has less habitat compared to the snow crab. They also love frigid water, but they are typically only found in the Bering Sea between Alaska and Russia. Now you know where these two crab types live. The question is, when can we find them? The snow crab's harvesting season begins in April and lasts until late October or early November. In contrast, the king crab season is much shorter and normally kicks off in late October and ends in early January. The name, snow crab, was given due to its meat texture. When being cooked, snow crab turns from red to snowy white. Furthermore, the texture of the snow crab is firm and tends to be more fibrous, which makes it easier to shred into small pieces, like corned beef. For the king crab, those thicker legs provide seafood lovers with large, firm chunks of white meat. When you're trying to get delicious meat out of a crab leg, approach king crab with caution. King crab legs are thicker and lined with spikes that require a crab cracker tool for best results. Snow crabs, on the other hand, have legs that are soft enough to crack open with your bare hands. Remember not to apply too much pressure or you'll shred the delicate snow crab meat within. When it comes to the flavor battle of king crab versus snow crab, which one wins? That's a difficult to answer question, since each type has its own advantages. In other words, the answer obviously depends primarily on your tasting preferences. King crab has an undeniable reputation for its flavor. One bite will usually turn anyone's taste bud into an undying fan. It has a sweet, mild flavor, and is often compared to lobster. Snow crab meat is also sweet, but bears a subtle briny flavor not found in king crab.